today we're going to be talking about how do I pass my big stack of cash or my not so big stack of cash to the next generation, to my kids, grandkids, and things like that. So, Wendy, I know we've talked about that a little bit. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, just as a general picture.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that it's funny when, talking to people, how few people think about it or they think about it, but don't do anything about it. Right. It's
like, I think they don't know what to do. Right.
Yeah. One day. And a lot of people get confused. What's the difference between a will and a trust? Which one do I need? And then we've seen people that have a trust, but haven't done anything legally with it to make it effective. Yeah. So I think there's just in general a lot of confusion and around the subject as a whole. And I think a lot too, because we work with middle class America, like the ultra wealthy, right, typically have this stuff handled, but middle class, we have stuff, we have things we can pass on. And, a lot of times it's left to the children to.
Well, and that's the thing, right? And it's also, you look at probate, that whole process. A lot of people, like you said, they have a will, they think that's it. No, that is not anything to protect you from probate or anything like that. And a lot of states have, different thresholds and low thresholds on when does probate get involved. I know the state of Tennessee, where you and I reside, it's $25,000, or at least it was, I think, last year. They may have changed it this year, but it's a $25,000, max, and anything over that, you're going through probate. So think about it. If you have a 401k, you have personal property, vehicle, housing, equity. If that totals up more than 25K, you're going through probate. And that can be a long and lengthy process, especially if you're in some of the states like California and things like that. So what do you do to minimize that? Because I worked hard for my money. I want to pass on from one generation to the next. And I don't want the state coming in and taking 25, 35% of it, right? I also want to limit taxes and things like that. So how do I do that? Well, number one, a will is not going to get it done. A will is simply a set of instructions. That's it. It has no real shelters or anything like that, other than, letting Bobby know why you gave his brother Timmy this thing that he wanted. And, that's the thing. That's all it is. It's a set of instructions. So Wendy just brought up that first item is that trust, right? And there are several different types of trust. But, the main one used, again, in what I've seen is a revocable trust. And so that's where you can still have some sway on it and things like that. But you create this trust document that transfers. It's usually like it would be the Wendy Lee family trust, right? You would transfer those assets through the trust to the next generation. And it's kind of protected outside of the whole probate process. And I liken it to, and the analogy I like is, I'm a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan, Johnny Depp. It's like a treasure chest, right? And so you've got this box, this wooden box with the brass, all over it and stuff like that. That's your trust. That's what it is. And so then you put the things inside the trust, the assets, the IRAs, 401ks, the vehicles, you put stuff in a trust, out of a trust and stuff like that, houses. And then you put the will on top as a set of instructions and then close the box.